Let's go live. This is James Maduke speaking. Today I want to talk to you about why I quit blogging. And if you're trying to sell courses, you should quit too. Now, let me go a little bit of a backstory here. Now, this might be kind of funny coming from me because I've been blogging since before WordPress, technically. And also, I own a whole bunch of websites or domains that are blogging related. I have bloggingsecrets.com is one that I own. I own bloggingforsmallbusiness.com. And the other one that I own is another one, what was it? Oh yeah, marketablog.com. So I have 3 domains about blogging. I've owned them for 20 years and I don't use them and I don't blog anymore. So you're probably going, why are you not blogging? What's the part that you're not telling us? So here's the first thing. I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you 4 kind of keys here, and then I'm going to tell you about where things are going and why I think this is really important that you kind of reconsider what it is you want to do with your website, with your traditional blog, and more importantly, the online courses that you're selling. So here's kind of the first thing. When I first started, the only way to get traffic was to have content. And that content was text content on a blog. That's what we focused on, is the person who had the most content or the most content that was relevant in terms of text, they were the winner. So you worked really, really hard to do a written newsletter first and then start blogging every day. And when we first started, it was all about the website, absolutely all about the website. That's not what I think is happening today. And what's really happening, it is about the customer and the content on where it's delivered. It's not about the website, it's all about the courses and the customers. So that's kind of the first thing to wrap your head around is, when you're thinking about all of this stuff for, is a website really important, or do I need to focus on my website and adding content to my website? No, I don't think so anymore. So that's kind of the first thing to keep in the back of your mind is it's always taking the big picture of things of where we are today, not where we were in the past. Now, you'll still hear people talking about blogging, and I don't have any trouble talking about it, but I'm not interested in having text content as the way that I engage or interact with my potential customers. And that's why first thing that I stopped doing it. And it's something you have to make a decision on as to, how you need to engage with your customers to help them out, or your clients, or your potential online course participants. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that when you are thinking today about your customers and what they actually do is they are searching for answers to specific questions. Now, I've mentioned this before. We've got Google and we've got YouTube are the places that people search for answers to specific questions. And you have to think about it and go, okay, am I going to provide those answers as written text on a website, or am I going to provide those answers visually on YouTube and technically include the text or have the text automatically created? And that's the big shift for people to understand. If you do it in YouTube and people are searching on YouTube, they're not being directed to your website based on some text that was optimized on your website. They're there to get a specific answer to a specific question at a specific time, not search through 50 sites, 100 sites, 10 sites, 5 sites to find an answer that they need done to complete the task or whatever it is they're trying to do. So visually will always be a much better answer than textually when you're finding out or trying to find out how to do things. Now, there's some exceptions to that, of course. So if you're thinking about, if you've got a scientific journal, for example, or legal documents or reference materials, technical documentation, data heavy statistics, stuff like that. Obviously that's stuff that you're going to do textually. If you've got a whole list of FAQs, for example, medical advice, time sensitive stuff, you're going to want to make sure that it's done in a textual basis, and put it on a blog. That's technically not a blog. It's content that's published to a website. So they're going to want video answers, and there's a whole bunch of reason that people want video answers because it's much more effective of putting it together. So you can demonstrate things live and in real time as to what's happening or what's not happening. It allows you to take and show and tell at the same time what it is that's happening, making it a lot easier to grasp, a lot easier to understand. It allows you to be there live and in real time, show inflection and other communication skills that aren't necessarily there if it's just written in a piece of text. And again, text is a huge, huge skill in putting a story across, telling people how to do stuff in a way that is entertaining. You get stuff like body language. You get to use your hands, your face, the way you move around on the screen, the way you do things with specific tasks that you're trying to show. Again, it's not available if it's just with text. And it's accessibility. When you are in front of your smartphone, it's something that you can see quickly and understand quickly, as opposed to having a long document that is giving you instructions or hopefully answers to that particular question. So it's really easy to be accessible. The third thing I want you to think about as you're kind of playing around with this, and this is the big shift for me personally, is when I'm thinking about the answers that I want to give or the way that I want to interact with my potential customers, it is more about think of it this way. Content is a commodity. So content is a commodity. Time is not. And time is not is kind of weird because not everyone has all sorts of time. They have very, very short periods and they want to use it the best that they can. And they have the option of looking and reading through text or watching and seeing the same answer in a way that is much easier to understand than just some written text. So which one is the important one? There's lots of written content. There's always going to be lots of written content. But when you can take something that was written and show it visually and through all the modalities or different ways to communicate, it's far more effective. And people are willing to spend their valuable time learning quickly as opposed to learning slowly. So it's that whole speed and the way that people are taking advantage of the content that you're providing. The other thing is this whole overload of text, right? In fact, there's actually some different websites now that try and get rid of Google or condense Google. Perplexity.ai is one that I mentioned, which is a Google of Google. So what it does is if you ask it a question, it goes and searches all over and gives you the 5 top answers in a concise summary instead of you searching through 50 sites. So I think Google is going to be going down as things get a little more AI generated and organized through these tools and visually answered through YouTube. So I think you're going to find that, the switch between text search and text answers and visual answers is something that's definitely on the growth there. The other thing is the value of the curation. And what do I mean by that? If you need to have 10 blog posts of text to cover the same content that you can show in a 3-minute video, which one is someone most going to spend some time on? They're going to go and see, I want the 3 minutes, answer the question here, as opposed to reading 3 blog posts to get the information that they needed to do the thing. So your ability to curate content across one video as opposed to 10 blog posts, 15 blog posts, that's a huge bonus. And that's the other reason, the big reason that I think I really kind of stopped doing it. It's just far more efficient to be able to get in front of the camera and more importantly, live stream like I am today and not have to worry about what it is that I'm writing and making sure that it makes sense and I can, use a particular tool or whatever to try and organize my thoughts. It's a lot easier just to do it live, looking off a couple notes and bullet points than it is to try and write proper English and structured sentences that make sense to people. The other one is, when you think about text and you think about the engagement with people, text, unless you know what you're doing and you're highly skilled, in many cases is boring unless you can weave some kind of story in that is something that pertains to the person that's reading it, and more importantly keeps them engaged. I think your videos, or your ability to use YouTube in this case to do edutainment, or at least show something other than the text, has a lot of value in keeping people engaged and personality and selling with things. And I think the big thing that this is, and I want you to think about this, is if I am an online course creator and I'm someone who's online trying to sell a product or service, which is the easiest way to sell my online course or to sell and earn income with my business? Is it by having a bunch of written text, maybe with some links to other people's sites or links to my own content, my own sales material? Or am I going to be able to follow a traditional sales process that you would if you were, say, face-to-face with people? I have a whole course on face-to-face selling, and I talked about the trader's model, or introduced that trader's model, which is about being turned on, rapport, attention, interest, desire, action, results, and service. These things, and that's an old model, but the whole idea is that when you communicate to people in a conversation and not a sale, that is far more effective in being able to sell your products and services or other people's products and services. Allows you to explain yourself and interact with people and engage with people, especially online if you're doing live streams where you can answer questions live on the fly. You can use chats for live streams, for example. You can answer DMs as responses to what you've done visually. It allows you to be authentic yourself on the camera, as opposed to trying to make yourself look authentic on some written text. So if you put all of these together, I think if you think about this in the big picture, if you're trying to sell your products and services, you want to look at which is the way that I can engage with people that allows me to move that sales process or that sales conversation along further. And you have some choices. Am I going to spend my time writing blog posts in the hope that I can get some search engine traffic, and then with that search engine traffic, try and sell something to someone, whether it be an online course, an affiliate product, an ebook, anything that you have to sell, a referral to someone else's site? So you're going to spend your time writing blog posts on that, or are you going to create a live stream or a video or talk to your phone, tell people what it is that you're doing, why it's exciting, what it means to them, and give them answers to questions they already have? Your job, I think, as a communicator and an online course creator, digital marketer, is to go and answer questions. Answer them visually, live and in real time, as quickly as you possibly can. And you're going to find, I think, I have found, I hope that you're going to do the same thing, you're going to be able to engage with people. And that's the big takeaway here. The reason that I do videos versus blogging is because I'm not worried about search engine traffic. I'm worried about engagement traffic. So that's the way I look at it. If you want search engine traffic and you want to show up high on Google and you want people to search for you and then look for a single piece of content and find it and hopefully go around your website, you can do text blogging, that's fine. If you want to make sure that you can engage with people on a quick and timely basis, answering specific questions that they have, it's far easier to do it with video, live and in real time. And I don't think you necessarily have to be fully scripted, although if you want to, you can go right from a script using some AI tools that we've covered in the past on some of the other videos that I've done. By the way, if you want to like and subscribe to the channel, I've got a whole listing of other video tutorials. I think there's 260 at the time that I do this. And in fact, if you want to ask questions and engage with me personally, you can go to trainingsites.io and join the community. It's free to get in there. Check out all these additional videos, courses, and basically interact with me live and in real time. I put the links below as well. So commodity, time, quickness. Here's the big one that I think people don't really consider when they're thinking about this. What is it? It's evergreen content. If I go and look and I take a look at someone's video and I can see a natural progression or growth of a particular topic and an area of expertise in a topic. That has huge value over the long term, and any videos that you do or content that you create is associated with your channel. If someone goes to find a particular blog post with a particular piece of text, they get that one piece and then they have to kind of search around or look forward to all of the other pieces. They don't get a big picture of everything that you're about unless they go from post to post to post. If they find your YouTube channel, if they find your videos, they're going to be presented with all of the other pictures and content that is related to you and your topic in an authentic manner about your expertise in that particular area. The opportunity to interact with you and engage with you is highly likely on a YouTube channel versus on a website with a blog post. Searches. If you're writing think of it this way, if you take and you create a YouTube video, on the day after you've created the YouTube video, you technically have the text or the transcript of what you said in the YouTube video. If you write a textual kind of blog post and do one that's perfectly grammatically correct and explains exactly what you wanted to explain without showing something to someone while you're doing it on the video, you've got the exact same text. You've got the text for a blog post. And this is why it's exciting when you're thinking about it from the perspective of search. Search for YouTube, number 2, versus Google right now, which is number 1. But the text that you generate or the transcript that you have from the YouTube video is keyword rich, is SEO optimized for the content that you're trying to get across to people, and it's automatically done for you. This is a big reason for me. I'm lazy. I don't want a blog post. It's too much time. It's too much effort. I want to be able to just talk into the camera, have the text created for me, but be able to communicate and engage with people live in real time. You can't do that if you're just writing a blog post. So here's kind of where the things are going for me on the big picture here. And this is what I'm doing. And I want you to kind of think about this, especially when you're getting started with online courses. And basically you're thinking, okay, great. What do I need to do here to be an educator, an online course creator? You have a couple choices. And I've done both. And I can tell you which way I'm moving. And this is the big reason why, what we just talked about. If I look at websites that I had before, the websites tended to be quite big. They were huge content management systems, WordPress, for example, and they had all sorts of pages, services pages, individual services, course pages with sales course things, landing pages, posts, all sorts of posts and newsletters, categories of blog posts, and you wrote as much as you can on your website to get search traffic into it, optimized about your particular topic or area that you're focusing on. And a lot of people think when they're starting is I have to have an absolutely huge website. Personally, I don't think that's where things are going. I think what's happening now, and this is where I'm moving, is that the whole idea here is to get people engaged with you and your community. And it doesn't matter if you're a business or you're an individual, a course creator, an expert on something, someone who just wants to teach something online, they want to share who it is and their passion. If you basically have a container for your community and you can use the visual communication of YouTube and get people engaged in your community, you have the opportunity to monetize it in all of the different ways that you can earn income from, and all those multiple income streams, whether they be downloads or checklists or podcasts or courses or services that you provide one-on-one and coaching. All of those things are available from a community. And I'm not interested in doing big sites anymore. I'm interested in having a community site or a place where people can interact with me. And that container is what websites, I think, are starting to be. You'll see a lot of people are talking about, building a membership site, building a community. That search engine traffic is going to come from YouTube, not from Google. and it's also going to be about capturing and engaging with those people. You can do it on YouTube, but the next transition or goal is to get them to your own personal community where they can engage specifically with you and not everyone else on YouTube. So that's kind of where I think that it's going, and I want you just to consider and ask yourself, if I'm going to create an online course, do I want to focus on writing a written blog post and making sure it's grammatically correct and gets across the message that I have? Or do I want to learn how to get in front of the camera, do something live if possible? If not, record it and don't get hung up on the edits. Do I want to do that and be engaged with people as opposed to hoping that Google's going to run into my website and, more importantly, index my blog post and make sure that it ranks highly enough for people who are looking for a quick answer to a simple question are going to go take a look at that piece of text and then go, wow, I want to deal with him. I think moving forward, you're going to see people doing a lot quicker, less edited videos on a regular basis because it's all about selling you and your answers and not about ranking high because you've done a written blog post on Google. So hope you think about this. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to actually do a video tomorrow. I think I'll do it tomorrow or maybe later today. And I just want to kind of talk about the process to go through to take a video and actually turn it into some content on your website without having to do any work. And I have a special template for you if you want it. Just let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to get you that template for not only the chat prompts to actually create it, but the actual template that you can use on your website. So my name is James. Make sure to visit trainingsites.io. If you want to create a course with me one-on-one using ChatGPT, you can make sure to visit that link and we'll have a little chat and I'll be able to help you out. So hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back tomorrow or later today just talking about everything about starting, building, and growing your education business and teaching online. So